So he's an idiot.
Fanboys suck a whole lot of dick. I mean, well, I do too, but...
Yeah.
You unlock this door with a simple registration. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of memes. A dimension of trolls. A dimension of morons. You are moving into a dimension of both factual and unfactual information, of rumours and hopes. You just crossed over into the Twitter Fanboy Zone.
Hello all and welcome back for another episode of the Twitter Fanboy Zone. You'll all be happy to know that thankfully this video is not about King Thrash, who continues to highlight his lack of knowledge when it comes to gaming. I mean, he thinks companies like Square, NYX, Capcom and Ubisoft are indie studios.
Patrick, can you shut the fuck up?
Publishers, King, they're publishers. You know what you're saying that Xbox cannot purchase? That's what they are. They're publishers. You fucking moron. But this video is thankfully not that bad, that idiot. This is about the hypocrisy and the stupidity led by the Sony Fanboy Brigade.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And all this sort of accumulated from Xbox buying, or possibly buying Activision Blizzard, or the ABK deal, as they say, because it includes King as well, which is a massive mobile market. So yeah, the ABK deal, I will call it from now on. So yes, this is the purchase of the ABK deal, and it's got loads of PS fanboys very salty, very upset, and so to the point where they decided to message the president. You know, the president of the US of A.
What? What the fuck?
I know, but what do you expect from the most toxic community in gaming on the planet in history? And quite frankly, I don't want to dabble on this stupidity for too long, but let's take a look at some of their tweets. First up, we have TheRealJDub replying to POTUS, President of the United States, in case you wasn't aware of that. Very arrogantly highlights that he is the President of the United States, just in case anyone forgot. So make sure you block... oh my fucking... This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard reading this. Make sure you blocked Microsoft buying Blizzard Activision. Xbox has no games anyway. What? I don't know what your statement I'm trying to make. Stop Xbox competing. It has no games anyway. What? Oh, this is a good one. MudCrab T1000. This is the saddest comment I've read. Xbox Phil Spencer basically, Xbox P3 are ruining the gaming industry as a whole. The FCC POTUS should not allow the 69 plus 8 billion accusations that Microsoft has made. So he also wants to stop the Bethesda deal as well. Microsoft has made. Soon there won't be an industry, just PlayStation versus Nintendo versus Xbox. Imagine that. Soon there won't be an industry, just PlayStation versus Nintendo versus Xbox. Imagine that. Say third party, hashtag monopoly. This is. Do you think they think before they type, or do you think they think ever? Say third party monopoly. Let's just highlight that Sony's basically buying up all third party exclusivity and third party content and making it exclusive. That's what Sony does. Sony. That's what they're doing right now. They're already doing that, and they've got a history of doing that.
The problem that we had was that the market in 1993 was dominated by Sega and Nintendo. They pretty much had it sewn up between them. So any new entrant into the market had to do something pretty dramatic and pretty special.
Sony does everything it can to round up third-party developers to support the PlayStation and is able to sign 250 in Japan alone.
My target was to get as many publishers and many popular title franchises to become available on PlayStation.
Sony also spends $48 million to purchase Psygnosis, the European developer behind Lemmings, and changes its name to Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Cyanosis. What happened to Cyanosis? Oh yes, Sony closed them in 2012. In fact, there's a list of studios Sony, because we always hear it, don't we? We always hear it. We always hear Sony, Xbox can't manage studios. They're always in trouble. They're always closing studios. Here's a quick list of studios that Sony's closed. 989 Studios closed in 2005. SOE closed and was sold in 2015. Evolution Studios closed in 2012. Big closed in 2012. Gorilla Cambridge closed in 2017. Incognito Entertainment disbanded and staff put onto other studios. SCE Liverpool, otherwise known as Cyanosis, they closed in 2012. Zipper Interactive closed in 2012. Contrail closed in 2000. Superbot wasn't closed. Sony just decided to no longer support them, so they went off and did their own thing. Team Soho absorbed into other Sony studios. Team Ico closed in 2011, and Japan Studio closed in 2021. And is everyone aware that Sony bought 10 studios last year? Bought 10 game studios last year. So is anyone aware of that? Is anyone aware of what actually Sony is doing? So Psygnosis, everyone. Game publisher. They used to publish games. They're a publisher of games. Published games such as Shadow of the Beast and Lemmings. Sony bought a publisher, everyone. Is that now covered? Are we all aware that Sony competed with Nintendo and Sega by buying publishers back in the 90s? Where's the rage? Next idiot. Kung Kai. Joe Biden, POTUS. The FBI, he's messaged the FBI, everybody. This guy's sent a Twitter to the FBI. Please stop Xbox from purchasing Activision. It is very wrong and is sending a terrible message to all gamers. We must stop this greedy company.
Either you got a lazy eye or lack of respect. Which is it, boy?
I ain't got no lazy eye. No respect for the likes of you.
You gonna cry, boy? Maybe when you're done pissing your pants, I'll shit and come on your behalf.
Let's keep going. POTUS, FLOTUS, Joe Biden, FTC. What's that? Link to FTC. What is it going to take for you to step in and stop Microsoft from forming an anti-consumer monopoly by buying ATVI AB? The head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, admitted what they are doing is anti-consumer. Protect consumers.
Come here. Mwah! You're taking this very personal. Tom, this is business, and this man is taking it very, very personal.
Let's just establish what's going on here. Xbox want to buy Call of Duty, put it on Game Pass, put it on more platforms. They want to put it on PC, going to keep it on PlayStation, going to put it on Xbox. It'll also be playable through xCloud, mobile. There's going to be more ways of playing the game. And they want to put it on Game Pass, which seems to be, for some reason, a massive threat. They want to put it on Game Pass so it's more costly for the consumer, especially in this day and age, because remember, inflation is a big thing. Everything's going up because of inflation. So this game's going to go into Game Pass, so you don't have to pay £70 a year for this game or whatever, or just for that one game. You can pay £150 for that game and a whole bunch of other games. Even if you play one other game that's $70, you've already almost made your money back. If you just say, let's say you played Forza Horizon 5 and Call of Duty, and they're both £70 to buy in shops, say, thinking £150 for the year. You've almost made your money back already just on these two games. For Christ's sake, what is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you? If you maybe only play one game a year, maybe you might have a point, but then you just buy it. You wouldn't play it in Game Pass, you just buy the game, wouldn't you, if you only play that game? But it's just established that's what Xbox is doing. Sony, on the other hand, are buying studios, making the games exclusive. Buying third-party games and making those games, paying to have those games exclusive. Paying to keep games off Game Pass, paying for parity, paying for third-party exclusive content. Yet, we seem to have an argument that Game Pass is anti-consumer. So we've got the final clown here. What's his name? NYX Gamer 01. This is tiring on my brain cells. I feel them sort of slowly depleting as I read these messages. Because Sony earned their market position through decades of actual effort, and now the direct competition who failed to accomplish anything in 20 years is making the argument that they should be on top because their parent company has money. It's bad precedent for any industry. Thankfully this comment wasn't aimed at the president, because I'm sure it was probably nap time for him. But it wasn't. It's just break this down, what he's got to say. He's clearly a biased, ignorant PlayStation fanboy with lack of gaming, just lack of knowledge of anything really, especially Sony's history. So I've already established in this video, if you wasn't paying attention, that Sony buys publishers, Sony buys exclusivity, Sony does what it needs to take to be in the lead. That's what they've done. They spent money, bought publishers, bought exclusivity, just bought stuff to remain the leader. What this guy's asking is Xbox doesn't do that. Can Xbox not do that, please, and Sony remain the leader, please? Can they do that? Sony earned their market position through decades of actual effort. Well, there's for start off, they actually do have a generation and a bit head start on Xbox, don't they? So, you know, is it not unfair to sort of say Xbox can't play catch up? That they've got to play sort of a generation that behind Sony? I think it's only fair that Xbox are allowed some sort of leniency because, yeah, as I said, they've got to catch up. But let's just remind these PlayStation fanboys that Sony, when they bought these studios, when they bought the big banger studios like Naughty Dog and Santa Monica, they weren't smashing out games. I mean, I've already highlighted a load of studios they bought and closed. I just bought 10 more recently, as I also highlighted. But Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, Polyphony, whatever they're called, that make the GT7 games. GT7 was their biggest game, the biggest franchise, biggest selling franchise. It still is to this day their biggest franchise, but their biggest moneymaker. Not your God of War, or your Uncharted, or your what you think, Last of Us, or most certainly your Horizon West. So let's just cover quickly. I don't want to be too long. Let's just cover some of the studios. Naughty Dog, when they first got Naughty Dog, for example, they didn't come out with something decent for 7 years. 7 years it took to come out with something like Uncharted. As making sort of little games up until that point, but Uncharted, and then that didn't really hit like they'd liked it to. It done quite well in the scores. I think it scored in the high 80s, but it didn't hit like they wanted to. It didn't sell millions. It wasn't until Uncharted 2, which was a better game, that they started to think, oh, well, actually this is a franchise we can sort of feed on. God of War, rated high, but didn't sell too well. None of the God of Wars up until God of War 2018. The God of Wars, they've all rated about 93 range. But the early God of Wars only sold about 5 million copies across 2 platforms, across PS2 and PS3. So yeah, they weren't massive hits. They were sort of quite niche titles. Guerrilla Games made Killzone. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, Sony ended that. The life of Killzone in 2014 ended. Trash. Placed it with Horizon Forbidden West. Trash. No, sorry, I'm just winding you up. So I don't know why they get this earn their market position through decades of actual effort. What actual effort? I'm confused by the actual effort. What they mean that through years of being able to buy studios, buy exclusivity, and build on that. Yes, can Xbox do that? No, they can't. No, they've got to buy some little trashy indie studio and just throw money into them and just build them up and only have them. They can't buy any publishers. They can't buy any big studios like Sony did to compete with Nintendo. They've got to buy the trashiest of the trash and just throw money into those and hope it hits. And yeah, they've got to remain behind Sony. It's just the ignorance is incredible. And what's worse is that it's splitting over to the CMA. Which I will cover in my next video. So I think I'll leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop down in your comments below what you think, what your opinions are on this whole Activision deal thing. I'd love to hear your opinions on it all. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and goodbye for now.